Let's play a game called Guess the God. Was this said by the grumpy Old Testament God or the happy and loving New Testament God? All right. Is not my word like fire, like a hammer that breaks a rock in pieces? I mean, obviously. That is the grumpy Old Testament God, right? This is from Jeremiah, from the Old Testament. And how about this one? I came to bring fire to the earth, and how I wish it were already kindled. I mean, this is clearly that same grumpy Old Testament God, right? This comes from the mouth of Jesus. In Luke's Gospel, the 12th chapter, beginning in the 49th verse. Look it up if you don't believe me. Jesus said that. And this is just one more reason why the Old Testament God equals mean and angry, and the New Testament God equals loving and kind. It is one of the oldest heresies in the book. It is Marcionism, to be exact, which acts as if we can cut God into two pieces. There's this lesser, angry Old Testament God on the one hand, and this higher, totally good and devoid of all wrath New Testament God on the other. And we know that we can't cut God into two pieces. But it remains, in my very non-statistical, going by pastor vibes only opinion, the most common Christian heresy. And I think most of us slip into it from time to time, including us pastors. And I know this because when we hear the words, I came to bring fire to the earth, coming from the mouth of Jesus, we are taken aback by this. And why shouldn't we be? This can't be the same John 3:16, for God so loved the world, Jesus, can it? Jesus shouldn't be saying these things. He can't just go around telling people that because of him, father will be divided against son and mother against daughter. I mean, Isaiah promises us a prince of peace. What's up with all of this fire and division? From the Old Testament God, for sure, we can expect this. But from New Testament Jesus, absolutely not. And I think we recoil against texts like these because we're afraid that Jesus is saying to us, I've come to burn you, or I've come to toss you into the fiery pit from whence there is no return. And I think that's unfortunate because this kind of thinking causes us to run from these texts rather than sitting with these texts. I mean, we don't want to sit with them for too long. We might get burned. And this is a text that we must sit with and ask questions of. Questions like, why is Jesus saying this? Or why is Jesus' message so divisive anyway? Questions like, what might Jesus be trying to burn away? And I think these questions are going to point us to other places in Scripture. The Magnificat at the beginning of Luke comes to mind, which might lead to more questions and more searching. And while firm and absolute answers will very likely remain elusive, it's pretty hard to pin down God, as I'm sure you know. It is in this sitting and searching, it is in this contemplation and, yes, prayer, where God is going to show up and reveal God to us. And who knows? Our hearts might just be moved and changed in this sitting and this pondering, in this contemplation. Maybe they will be ripped open and purified as with a refiner's fire, as God reveals what is meant by these things and what we are being called to do in this world. Maybe that's the point.